Hi guys, have you ever noticed that the more you desperately try and search for an answer, the harder it is to find it? And like maybe you've been pulling tarot cards over and over again, asking everyone for advice, watching endless videos, hoping that someone else will tell you what to do. And today we pulled the High Priestess, and if she's found her way into your consciousness today, she is asking or offering a very different message. She's asking you to stop searching, because the answer is not missing. It's waiting for you to become quiet and still enough to actually hear it. The High Priestess is one of the most mysterious cards in the tarot, but she's also one of the most powerful. People often summarize her as like, trust your intuition, but that like barely scratches the surface of what she represents. The High Priestess isn't searching for truth. She has become so still and equanimous that truth naturally finds her. It comes to her. She reminds us that not all wisdom can be learned from books and teachers and podcasts or even tarot readers. Some wisdom only arrives through lived experience, deep reflection, and the courage to sit with uncertainty instead of rushing to fix it or control it. You know, not every question needs an immediate answer, and we live in a world that celebrates speed, instant gratification, instant clarity, instant healing, instant manifestation. But nature doesn't work like that. It needs to build momentum. A seed isn't impatient to become a tree. The moon doesn't rush through its phases. And your own inner wisdom unfolds in its own perfect time. The High Priestess invites you into what I like to call a sacred pause. The space where there's no longer forcing. There's not this forcing for life to reveal itself. Instead, you're welcoming it in. You're allowing it to unfold. And she teaches us that waiting isn't always procrastination. Sometimes waiting is the wisdom. Sometimes silence is gathering more information than the mind can simply access through thinking alone. So if we look closely at the imagery of the card, she sits between these two pillars, one white, one black, and one represents the light, and the one represents the shadow. And she sits equanimously between the two, not choosing either one. She sits comfortably as well between them. She is like this important lesson. Life isn't asking us to become all light or to banish and eliminate all the dark. It's asking us to become spacious enough to hold both. And this, a lot of somatic work that people are doing, and they talk about expanding your window of tolerance. You can Google that. I'm not going to get into that now, but it allows us to hold duality without getting caught up in the fear around losing the light or getting stuck in the darkness. So it allows you to hold both joy and grief, confidence and uncertainty, love and fear, strength and vulnerability. And if you look at the strength card, that just is the epitome of strength and vulnerability in one. The duality of life. The High Priestess understands this and understands that true wisdom isn't choosing one side. It's learning to hold the whole picture. And another beautiful quality of the High Priestess is that she notices patterns, not just events, patterns. She pays attention to recurring relationships, the same emotional triggers showing up again and again, or the same lessons showing up but in different disguises. And maybe she also notices her dreams. So often our intuition can speak to us through our dreams, especially when they're repeating. She notices synchronicities that keep happening or appearing, the quiet whispers of the body. Your intuition will speak to you through the language of the body. So, start listening to it. And the body speaks through our senses, through sensations. So through our senses, through our taste, through what we notice, through what we feel. Even emotions that are going through our body, they're in our body. They are visceral. And she doesn't ask when something happens, why does this keep happening? She asks, what is this trying to teach me? What is this showing me? And that's a question that can change everything. I'll briefly, your card of the day is the High Priestess upright. So that's your message, the upright message. But in the reverse, because we're talking about duality, and every card has a shadow aspect. And the shadow aspect can kind of look for waiting forever to see a sign, the perfect sign. Maybe you're mistaking fear for intuition. Maybe overthinking instead of listening, or hiding behind spirituality instead of taking action. And that point I wanted to make about this reverse, because intuition isn't meant to replace action. It's meant to guide it. So eventually, even our deepest knowings have to become a choice. And one of my favorite things about the High Priestess is how she embodies the divine feminine, not as weakness, but as receptive power. She doesn't chase, she doesn't convince, she doesn't perform, she doesn't explain herself to people who aren't ready to understand. She simply embodies truth, her truth, and because of that, she becomes magnetic. And that's a lesson many of us need today. Your value doesn't increase because you explain yourself better. Your worth isn't determined by how much you prove or can prove. And sometimes, if not all the time, our greatest power is simply knowing who we are without needing anyone else to validate it. Psychologically, the High Priestess represents our unconscious mind. She's kind of like the bridge between the thinking mind and the deeper self, the feeling self. And when she appears, your unconscious may be trying to communicate to you, maybe through dreams, maybe through symbols, maybe through unexpected emotions coming up to the surface, maybe chance encounters, or even just like that persistent feeling inside of you that something is changing before the logical mind can even see it in this reality. And the invitation isn't to analyze every little thing. Remember, her message was to just simply stop searching. And she asked for you to simply to listen. Become still enough so you can listen. And it's not listening with the mind. Often I think we hear this listen and we're expecting some sort of voice to come into our heads and we're going to hear it. It's just a feeling. And the thinking mind can like look for answers in the external, but eventually there comes a point where every expert has a different opinion, or every tarot reader offers a different interpretation. Every friend gives different advice. And you're the one left with one question. What do I really know? And if you have too much external noise, It's very hard to listen to what your truth is. And maybe that's the real message of the High Priestess, is to stop asking the world to confirm what your soul already knows. And, you know, the High Priestess understands that certainty isn't the highest form of wisdom. Curiosity is. The wisest people aren't the ones who have all the answers. They're the ones who are comfortable saying, I don't know yet. Because that openness creates space for truth to arrive. So if the High Priestess has appeared in your reading today, or if you're watching this video, maybe this isn't your day to force a decision. Maybe it's your day to become still. Notice what isn't being said. Pay attention to your body's responses, its sensations. Before the mind can explain anything away, just notice it, sit with it. Don't rush to conclude anything about it. Listen to your dreams. And, you know, just be curious. Be curious about whatever comes up, especially when the mind starts telling you something. Just say, interesting point of view. I have that point of view. And, you know, let's explore it. Instead of concluding that it's real or that, you know, just, you know, be curious. Anyway, if you enjoyed this reading, don't forget to like the video. Subscribe to my channel, please, if you like my videos. And I'll see you in the next one.